All right. Hey, good afternoon. Good morning to the West Coast here for this edition of the MSP Success webinar series. Really excited to have Bob from Perimeter 81 on today's call here. New salute. I think first time that we've had Perimeter 81 promoted. And Bob, there you go. I've already got someone from the UK saying hello. So as I mentioned, I knew there would be at least someone from the UK on the call here
Good evening,
today.
UK.
On today's call of where we're diving into a new topic, this is actually a new channel program. I've heard a lot of great things about it from those that have been checking it out. And so really excited to be able to have Perimeter 81 here on today's call. Couple things housekeeping here as we're getting everything rolling on this call. Is that I'll be here in the background watching for questions. Bob's going to talk about the top 5 reasons you should replace client VPNs with ZTNA throughout this call. But if you have questions, if you have chat, anything else there, if you want to get questions answered on this, then make sure that you use the Q&A part of that. It just helps from the back end. I want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered. Bob's going to stick around for as long as we need here to be able to go through any questions that you guys have. He's also got a special offer at the end, a special offer specific just for this webinar. So you're going to want to stick around to the end of the webinar as well. And with that, Bob, I think I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself to the community, and we'll get it rolling.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with folks today. Let's get into the agenda. I'll introduce myself, and then we'll get into the top 5 reasons why you should be replacing your client VPNs with zero trust network access. And we'll talk along the way about the vulnerabilities that traditional VPNs present and how ZTNA can help. And also, of course, we'll talk about the opportunities for MSPs. And then finally, we'll talk about our modern approach to secure remote access, how we will go about it, our architecture, and how we can help you take advantage of this great opportunity. As Jeff mentioned, we'll have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So, as we're going through the presentation, please pop your questions in the Q&A box, and we will get to all of those at the end. And then at the very end, we have an offer. So we have an offer for you, which I think is quite compelling. And with that, quick introduction. Again, Bob Kilbride. I'm the Vice President of Channel Sales for Perimeter 81. Perimeter 81 is a leading provider of zero trust network access solutions, headquartered out of Tel Aviv in Israel, as so many great cybersecurity companies are. We've only been around for about 4 years, but in those 4 years, we've become a clear leader in this space. And we have over 2,000 customers using our solution today, and we have over 100 transacting MSPs. Again, I'm responsible for channel, so I'm responsible for all of our channel partners, bringing on new MSPs, onboarding and enabling and working with our MSPs. And our MSP program, our MSP strategy is extremely important for us. And we'll talk about in this session how we go to market with MSPs as well. I've been in cloud sales for gosh, it's going on almost 10 years now. So prior to working at Perimeter 81, I was with a company called Cloud Health, which was acquired by VMware. Cloud Health was management and optimization for public cloud, and I was running the channel program for them. Prior to that, I was with Microsoft for about 4.5 years as part of the partner team. So let's get into the top 5 reasons why you should be replacing your client VPNs with zero trust network access. I'm sure that none of your clients or customers are calling you up and asking you for ZTNA. They might not even be able to pronounce ZTNA. However, they very well might be calling you up and letting you know that they have issues with their VPN, that they have issues with the management of their VPN, they have issues with performance of their VPN, or maybe they have concerns around the vulnerabilities and the security of their VPN. That certainly might be happening. So some of you might have experience there. However, chances are they're not even doing that. So there is a tremendous opportunity for MSPs to proactively have the discussion and make a recommendation to your clients and your prospective clients that they should consider replacing their VPN with a more modern solution. And there are several reasons for that. And like I said, we're going to talk about the top 5. First of all, VPNs are easily hacked by cyber criminals. And one of the reasons is it's antiquated technology. The VPN technology was first released over 20 years ago. And over 20 years ago, SaaS was in its infancy. There was no public cloud, there's no Azure, there was no AWS, there was no Google Cloud. And the majority of workers were working on site, on premise, in a data center. And that has changed. The corporate environment now is work from home, satellite offices. It's also adopted cloud architecture and cloud-based applications. So VPN technology was fine when you had a small number of people who needed remote access to a data center on a limited basis. But now with the corporate environments, you have companies with thousands and thousands of workers who are working from home or are working remotely. This was a trend that was happening well before the pandemic. Of course, the pandemic accelerated that. It's now common for an organization to have many satellite offices, and the resources, the applications that workers need access to are not only in that office behind a firewall, they're in the cloud. They're in the public cloud, or they're in the internet, SaaS-based applications. So you've got a technology that was designed over 20 years ago for a corporate environment that has changed completely. It's taking a square peg and trying to fit it into a round hole. And what you have is a situation now where VPNs are easily breached. And a single breach can mean access to an entire network. You work from home, a distributed workforce, in a hybrid network situation, what you have is an attack surface that's much, much larger than it's ever been. So there's many, many different points of attack now that a cyber criminal can take advantage of. And if an attack happens, if a cyber criminal gets a hold of VPN credentials, what can happen is they can enter a network and gain access to an entire network. As soon as they have access, or as soon as they are on the network, they can run rampant across the entire network. And this is what happened in the case of the Colonial Pipeline breach. Of course, many of you are familiar with the Colonial Pipeline breach that happened several months ago in the United States, where Colonial Pipeline was shut down by ransomware. And the entire Southeast had a gasoline shortage because of it. And the way that the cyber criminal entered the network was through a VPN connection that they had credentials for. That VPN connection was no longer being used, but it was open. And once the cyber criminal got access to the network, they had complete access to the network, to anything they wanted. And they were able to hold that data ransom. So here's how Zero Trust Network Access helps. First of all, Zero Trust Network Access solutions provide for authentication and network segmentation. And this is key. So the authentication is happening, and it's happening constantly. So you're only trusting individuals on the network who have been authenticated, but that's table stakes. Multi-factor authentication is table stakes. Of course, it should be set up for every client. But the next step is network segmentation, where you're able to give access to users to only the portions of the network that they need access to do their job. It's the cornerstone of zero trust, where you start with denying everyone access, and then you build it up and provide access only to what they need. So in that case of the Colonial Pipeline situation, if a bad actor gains access to the network, they're only going to have access to a limited set of that network, and they can do far less damage or perhaps no damage at all. And with zero trust network access, you can easily control who has access to what parts of the network and when they have access as well. You can limit it to where they're located in a geographic region. You can limit it to certain time zones. There's many, many different ways that you can limit access to the network. And an advanced zero trust network access solution will provide firewall as a service functionality, which allows you to further lock down and protect network resources. You can get, as granular as certain applications by group or certain individuals, and only those individuals that you've given access to can access that resources. In some cases, you can even eliminate traditional hardware-based firewalls and do this completely in a zero trust network access subscription-based service. So next is the lack of network monitoring and management. So VPNs lack visibility and control at the network edge. Again, we talked about all of the folks who are working from home, all of the folks who are working remotely. In some cases, enterprises will have thousands and thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of people who need remote access to network resources. And it only takes one vulnerability. It only takes one hacked VPN connection to bring down an entire network and potentially bring down an entire organization. Traditional VPN solutions don't have the visibility you need across an entire network and user base in order to secure your environments. And like I said, unused and unmonitored VPNs can create dangerous vulnerabilities. It's also difficult to identify and remove threats quickly. Because of this extended attack surface, because of these thousands of remote workers at the perimeter, because of the hybrid and extended network architectures, breaches are inevitable. Hacks are inevitable. It's going to happen. So what needs to be done is you need to quickly identify and remove those threats. So when threats do happen, you need to identify that it's happening, and then you have to act quickly to remove that threat. And there's no way to do that with traditional VPNs. With zero trust network access, you're getting continuous user authentication and activity monitoring. So there's multi-factor authentication, of course. You're looking at the identity of every user and authenticating every user upon entry onto the network. However, it doesn't stop there. With zero trust network access, the authentication is constant. It's constantly authenticating the users, ensuring only the authorized users are on the network. On top of that, a zero trust network access will actively monitor the activity of every user on the network. So if there are anomalies, if there are things that shouldn't be happening, if someone is getting access from a country where you don't have any employees, or you're not allowing access for a period of time in that particular region, you'll get an alert through the monitoring that's being done. And you'll get reports and logs to help identify threats. So you'll have, constantly get reports, all of the information will be logged, and you'll be able to see your trends. You'll know what the activity is supposed to look like on your network, and you'll be able to identify threats quickly. And with Zero Trust Network Access, the administration, the configuration and control is going to happen from a single, easy to use platform. We like to say at Perimeter 81 that there is security in simplicity. If security is easy to set up, configure, control, and manage, you're going to have a more secure environment. So next is VPNs are too slow for the modern hybrid network. So there are certainly performance issues that we have seen with traditional VPNs. And they were exacerbated by the pandemic when, literally overnight, we had thousands and thousands, millions of workers now, going home and using Zoom to communicate and run their meetings. You had a situation where users who were working remote were logging into a traditional VPN, getting authenticated by a piece of hardware that was sitting in an office where there was no one there and no resources, only to go back out again into the internet to use a SaaS application or a web-based application like Zoom. And performance suffered. And performance suffered because VPNs weren't set up to handle thousands and thousands of users. Again, it was designed to handle a small number of users. So in today's hybrid network environments and the environments where we have all these remote workers, VPNs make no technical sense. A Zero Trust Network solution is designed and optimized for the high performance and scalability required in today's hybrid work environments. Zero Trust Network Access solutions were designed from the ground up to apply to today's modern environments. They are cloud-based, they are managed from a single console, and they connect users directly to the resources they need to do their job, regardless of where those resources are, whether it be on-prem or in a public cloud or private cloud environment or in the open internet. This cloud-based performance, this cloud-based approach, I should say, is going to provide better performance and overall a much much user experience. And advanced Zero Trust Network Access solutions will provide a dedicated high-speed and encrypted tunnel directly to cloud and on-prem resources. So what you're going to have is a dedicated pipe to the resources. So you're gonna have a high-speed connection that's dedicated and encrypted, and connecting those users again at a high speed to the resources, the applications they need to do their job. Number 4, VPNs do not scale easily, and I'm sure everybody on the line here can attest. If you're dealing with your client VPNs, you understand that it can take a lot of effort, take a lot of management and configuration to support and set up your clients on their VPNs. And your clients' needs are constantly changing. You're adding users, you're deleting users, you have contractors coming and going, you have acquisitions happening, you have new network resources, you have new applications, SaaS applications. You're constantly changing your clients' environments, and VPNs do not scale easily when it comes to change. It can be cumbersome and it can be time consuming. And for you as an MSP, of course, time is money, and you're spending a lot of time on managing and configuring VPNs, where you could be spending time on much more productive efforts. So adding users, deleting users, providing access, configuring hardware, they're all complex. And again, I underline that there is security in simplicity. When a solution is simpler to set up, configure, and manage, you're inherently going to be more secure. And this was highlighted in a breach that happened back in 2019. There was a Capital One breach where I think it was millions of client records were accessed, and including private data, such as social security numbers. And one of the reasons why the cyber criminals were able to access this data, which was in a public cloud environment, was because of a misconfiguration of a firewall. So the firewall hadn't been configured correctly, which, as you probably know, is very easy to do. In a zero trust network access solution, it's going to be much easier to set up, configure, and scale your customers' environments, because everything is done in a single management console. And what might have taken days, having to touch a client's device, having to touch the client's firewall, configure their network, now can literally take minutes with a zero trust network access solution. And with zero trust network access, with most solutions, there's no hardware at all to purchase and maintain. You can add users, you can increase bandwidth, you can build entire networks by pointing and clicking through a management console. And more advanced zero trust network access solutions have a simple, easy to use multi-tenant platform for MSPs, which allow MSPs to control all of their client environments, do all the maintenance, do all the configuration, do all the support and changes in one single console. And then this leads me to the final reason that you should be talking to your clients about replacing their VPNs with ZTNA. It's a great source of revenue for MSPs. First of all, it's creating a new high margin recurring revenue stream. Zero trust network access is a platform approach. It's a platform that provides not only VPN type connectivity, remote access connectivity, but as I mentioned, advanced solutions like Perimeter 81 provide firewall as a service. It provides DNS filtering. It provides device posture check at the device level. So it's a full cybersecurity stack for zero trust network access, for secure network as a service. So this isn't something that just goes on the device and is a low margin. This is a higher margin full network solution, and it can be a great revenue stream with fantastic margins for MSPs. It's going to help your bottom line, but it's also going to make your clients' environments more secure. It's going to make their environments, as we discussed, better performing, and it's going to make them more satisfied and happier clients as well. It's going to help your bottom line, not only because of the recurring revenue stream, but because of the fact that it's going to make you more efficient in doing your support and service and configuration for your clients' secure network connectivity, and it's going to allow you to focus, spend more time on other high margin activities. On top of that, you'll have the ability to add implementation, management, and support services. And as I discussed, a zero trust network access solution is going to be a relatively simple solution to configure. In the case of the Perimeter 81 solution, it's very, very easy to configure and manage. However, it represents tremendous value for your customers. So there is opportunity for implementation and setup fees, management, support services, which for the MSP doesn't add a lot of overhead. It's not very difficult for you to do, but for the end user, it's a tremendous amount of value. So you've got high value for an end user, but low overhead for the MSP. So it's, you know, another great opportunity for revenue generation. So this leads me to a case study with one of our partners, Silo City IT, cybersecurity services and solution provider, headquartered in Buffalo, New York. Been in business for a few years, and they were typically spending hours and hours managing numerous network security solutions for each individual client, and they had for each client many different complicated VPN configurations, and it was significant overhead to maintain these VPN configurations. But they were dealing with it. Their business was growing. Their business was doing well. They were adding clients. Everything was good. However, COVID-19 hit, and then overnight they needed to efficiently scale secure network access. So overnight they had to find a solution that provided better security and better performance than traditional VPNs, and they chose Perimeter 81. They first saw that we were extremely easy to use and highly secure, and they were able to deploy networks with tunnels into their clients' resources in just 30 minutes. They reduced their deployment times by nearly 75% by implementing Perimeter 81 as their zero trust network access solution. And again, with the time savings, they enabled them to focus on the revenue and business growth for their organization. And this is typical of the MSPs that we see. So this is the perfect storm of client need and a valuable solution, and something that's easy to deploy, yet also represents significant revenues. So up to now, I talked about zero trust network access in general terms. And I'm recommending zero trust network access to every MSP for their clients who are on a traditional VPN. It is in a couple of years going to be the de facto standard. Some of the analysts that are covering the space are saying that by 2024, 75% of businesses will be using zero trust network access in order to do secure remote access to corporate networks. So, what I'm saying is, consider all the zero trust network access solutions, but certainly, choose one as the one that you're going to recommend your customers, because this is, right now is still an emerging technology, but it will be the standard. But I'd like to talk about the Perimeter 81 architecture and some of the things that make us unique in this space, and how we approach secure network as a service and a zero trust network access architecture solution. And it starts with the Perimeter 81 network. So we talked about this zero trust network access being a cloud-based solution, and having no hardware as part of the solution, no hardware to configure. And that's because all of our clients, all of our MSPs are connecting their clients through the Perimeter 81 cloud, through the Perimeter 81 network. The Perimeter 81 network is a global network. We have global coverage. There's approximately 40 points of presence. And every Perimeter 81 client is accessing their resources through the Perimeter 81 network. And every Perimeter 81 client is getting dedicated gateways in order to connect to the resources. So there's no shared gateways. Within this network, every client is set up with a gateway or gateways, depending on their specific needs. And those gateways are then connecting the users to the resources that they need access to. And that can be any resource. So they're going to have secure connectivity to on-prem. They're going to have secure connectivity to a public and private cloud, and they're going to have secure connectivity to the open internet. And they're going to have that connectivity through a secure and encrypted tunnel. There's also firewall as a service capabilities in the Perimeter 81 cloud. So I mentioned firewall as a service as one of the advanced features in some zero trust network access solutions. So that gives you the capability to lock down your networks and only give access to your users based on permissions and rules that they set, and limit them only to the resources and applications they need to do their job. Yeah, I mentioned DNS filtering, also part of the solution, as is device posture check, which checks a profile on the client devices. Any client device is able to connect via the Perimeter 81 network, and that client could be on a Windows machine, a Mac machine, even a Linux machine. They could be on a mobile device. So any type of device, we're able to run the Perimeter 81 client. We even have the capability to run agentless. So if a particular device isn't managed by you or isn't managed by the client, you're not managing the profile and the security stack that's on the device, you have the ability to do agentless access, which is application layer 7 access only, which is a differentiator for us. And then finally, there's the cloud management platform. The cloud management platform is a very easy to use, simple interface where you're setting up all of your client networks, managing their users and managing their networks. I have seen a client network be set up in 30 minutes where you're adding users, where you're setting up a network, adding a gateway, creating a tunnel from that gateway into a client resource in less than 30 minutes. And you as an MSP have the ability to do that. As I mentioned, some advanced zero trust network access solutions, not all of them, have a multi-tenant platform for MSPs. And we are, of course, one of the solution providers that have this multi-tenant platform. So what we're offering you is a multi-tenant platform where you're managing and configuring all of your customers in one easy to use platform. You also have the ability to give clients access to that platform. So if they want access to their environment, you can give them access. And of course, that's done with guardrails on. They're only going to be seeing their environment. We also have some key integrations. We'll integrate with an identity provider that's already in place. So if you're using, for your clients are using Azure Active Directory or Google G Suite or any SAML 2.0 based identity provider solution like Okta, we'll integrate with that, and we'll pull in the users and groups through the existing identity provider and implement multi-factor authentication using that identity provider solution. Perimeter 81 can also be the identity provider solution, so we have that capability as well. We offer SIM integration as well as SCIM integration. So, we're able to do incident management integration where you can pull data out of the platform into, popular SIM solutions. And again, all of your configuration, your IT admin is being done in one easy to use platform. I mentioned at the beginning that we're a leader in this space, and there's one of the areas where we're leaders is market share. I mentioned that we have over 2,000 customers today, and we're growing rapidly. So this is a fully tested, robust, proven out solution. However, also we were proud to be named a leader in a recent Forrester Wave report specific to zero trust network access. And one of the things that they said about us is that we're the perfect fit for smaller enterprises. So small, medium businesses, which of course many of you are servicing. are a great fit, a great market for Perimeter 81. And our customers are enthusiastic about us. They're enthusiastic about us again because we're easy to set up. The support is fantastic, and their results are great as well. On top of that, Forrester pointed out how we have outstanding vision. We are going to continue to add to the platform. We have an aggressive roadmap to add even more functionality to the platform, where today you've got your clients, some of them are using dozens of security solutions. We're looking to provide a platform that collapses those security solutions into a single platform, and we're going there.
Bob, I appreciate you taking the time today. Great call of running through.
Yeah.
And guys, I encourage you, get signed up, go check it out.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thanks, Jeff, and thanks everybody who attended. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be talking real soon.